Firstly, welcome to Portugal Calling by Expats Portugal. Jerry, Carl and I are really excited to have you all with us this evening. My name is Astrid and I'm one of the directors at Expats Portugal, originally from Australia and moved to Portugal in 2012. I spend my time between Sintra, outside of Lisbon, and our rural paradise, Castelo de Vide in the Alto Alentejo. Tonight we're going to be comparing the cost of living between Northern America and Portugal. We'll try and cover as many topics as possible today, and we have a panel of experts on board to help with your queries. Everybody will be muted during the event so everyone can hear the discussion. If you have specific questions, if you can go to your chat function and put your question in there, if you make sure that you send it to everyone so that everyone can see your question and it avoids double up with people asking the same question twice. We will be recording tonight's webinar as well, which will later be going up on the Expats Portugal website and also our YouTube channel. So if you do want to remain anonymous or not be seen, now's the time to turn off your camera function. Towards the end of the session as well, we're going to do what's called breakout rooms, where we're going to put you in separate rooms with one of our experts that are on the panel, so you can have more of a one-on-one conversation with them as well. But Carl, our host, will prompt when that happens. So that'll happen a little bit later on tonight. And we would love to know where you're joining us from. So please add your location in the chat box and say hi. Over to you, Jerry.
Thanks, Astrid. Hello, everybody. My name is Jerry Lawler, and with Astrid, I'm the owner of Expats Portugal, which we acquired just over 1 year ago. We've been working very hard to develop the community spirit that was started by the founder of Expats Portugal back in 2005. And in the last few months, we've seen a tremendous surge in membership, and particularly the new members joining us from North America. I can't think possibly a reason as to why that is, why there's so much interest in leaving America, but I'm sure you have your reasons. We spend quite a lot of time on expats talking about the legalities of moving here, visas, registrations, residency, buying property, and so on. But we thought it would be very interesting to have a panel of specialists, otherwise known as the 3 degrees, Tricia, Peggy, and Maria, who are from North America, Canada in one instance, I think, and then USA. And they're going to give you their real life experience of everyday shopping and the requirements and the cost of living in Portugal. So without further ado, I'll hand over to Carl, who will host tonight's events. Thank you very much. And great attendance, by the way. Please don't be shy to turn on your cameras. We don't bite.
Thanks, Jerry. Thanks, Astrid. Good evening, everybody. Be lovely to see a few waves. Yeah, and if you do want to turn your camera on, that'd be excellent. And as Astrid said, do let us know where you are tuned in from. So thank you for that couple of waves there. So yes, over to the 3 degrees who have very kindly offered to take care of particular areas. Although I think there will be a bit of crosstalk and hybrid of ideas. But in outline terms, Peggy tonight. Hi, Peggy. Peggy has agreed to take care of utilities, the cost of electricity, gas, as in gas. But not petrol, as you North Americans say, and water, of course, healthcare, cost of private cover and attendance fees, cost of state cover and attendance fees, respectively there. Maria will be talking to us about the weekly shopping, cost of milk, bread, the basics, meat, fish, fruit, veg, drinks, cleaning products, etc., and insurance as well, cost of building and contents insurance and car insurance. And Tricia, last but not least, fuel, cost of actual gas, as you would call it, diesel, logs for fires, and socializing, costs in restaurants, cafes, and cinemas. And then if there's a need, Astrid is very happy to talk about schools as well, cost of being at school here in Portugal. So what I'll do first of all is ask Peggy, Maria, and Tricia to give us an overall sort of conclusion about that and a little bit about their expert areas that they've agreed to take care of. And first of all, tell us where they are in Portugal, of course, because that's really useful. So we'll do that first with Peggy, if we may. What's your overall and general conclusion, Peggy? And good evening to you. Welcome back.
Hi, how are you, Carl? Sorry I missed you, but I am like retired, so I don't get up that early in the morning very often. But I am from Kentucky, and we moved here in 2017 for the holiday house, and I stayed longer than my husband. He retired last year, and we now have a big home in the wonderful, sunny, wonderful, beautiful, wonderful Algarve. And it's the best thing we ever did to move here. We are so happy. We are just thrilled to death to be here. We've made wonderful Portuguese friends, wonderful American friends, friends from every country in the world practically. I'm doing, did you want me to do an overall of what I was doing now, or just introduction?
Well, a little bit of an overview in terms of utilities and healthcare, if you will, because I'm sure questions will come. People will have their specific requirements and inquiries around these areas. But if you give your general view, America versus Portugal on utilities and healthcare, that'd be great.
Okay, well, generally, utilities here in Portugal are about half, less than half, what they are in the States. There are places where there are different amounts for water, depending on where you live, different amounts for electricity, depending on whether you have solar panels. But gas that you cook or happen to need to heat with is minimal. That's the lowest bill that we have for the whole thing. Water depends a lot if you have a pool and if you have a garden, and if you irrigate like I do, it can be as low as 25 euros a month. It can be as high as 200. But it also depends on the weather. If it's sunny like it's been now and the pool's evaporating, then you're putting more in the pool, you're watering more. But in the winter months, you're not doing those two things, so the water bill goes down. We don't really heat very much. We have a fireplace, so we use the fireplace, and that's plenty. We don't use our air conditioner very much because we have a wonderful old Portuguese house. It has 2-foot thick walls, and it keeps it cool as long as you have an awning on the sunny side of the house. It's great. And as far as healthcare costs, I myself have been hospitalized here, and the healthcare costs are incredibly, incredibly, incredibly low. It's and I have some numbers on private healthcare versus the public healthcare, and the cost on just paying for items yourself, the different kinds of healthcare you can get. So we can go all into that with anybody who's interested, particularly in the healthcare issues.
That's fantastic, Peggy. Thank you for that overview. And I just get the feeling you're quite happy here.
Oh, in this beautiful, wonderful, sunny Algarve, I tell you, you wake up and the sun's shining every day, and everybody's so nice. The number one reason we moved here is the people. And they make you feel so much like you're a part of the family here. You're part of Portugal, and you meet people, and everybody's so friendly. And we are happier than larks.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Peggy, very much. We'll come back to you with more questions. So now you know what Peggy can take care of there, utilities and healthcare, and she's got some figures as well for us if we need those. Maria, good evening to you. On the screen there as Milu as well. Hi, good evening.
Yes, I've only changed it to Milu only because on Expats Forum, I think that's the name I used. It's Maria Lourdes, Milu.
Oh, okay. Thank you for doing that. So if you want to do Maria or Milu on the forum, you can do that. That's great. And you're taking care of weekly shopping and insurance for us. Could you give us an overview in a similar way to Peggy, please?
Yeah, I think that the insurance is way, way lower, and groceries I found lower, but not, not so crazy, because I was a very careful shopper. I was a coupon queen. I was using coupons for absolutely everything. So my grocery bills were insanely low, and that's not regular because I'm I'm not fancy. I don't buy organic milk. I don't buy, I buy store name products like the no frills stuff in Canada. So I probably am not, somebody who's buying really specialty things like Madagascar vanilla. Forget it. It's never happening in my house. I'm buying, the cheap vanilla. So for example, I was just looking today at the Continent website, but basically there's like 5, 6, 7 massive supermarkets. So for me, that was the culture shock, is I was expecting I was going to go to the market with my wicker basket, my bicycle, and have my French bread with my carrot fronds sticking out. And you can do that every day. There is a market every day, but I go to the big supermarkets just like I would at home. And I happen to like Continent, and you have your membership value card. And so, for example, a liter of milk, that struck me too, because I'm used to fresh milk, and here it's all Tetra Pak, like in Mexico, but I hadn't experienced that. 10 times better, so happy with that. But a liter of milk is 48 cents. So that makes a gallon like $1.70 for a gallon of milk. And, oranges or something. Carl has an orange tree right behind him. We live in Tomar, which is very sunny. I mean, today it was insanely, this week has been very hot. And we have 6 or 8 orange trees. So we have frozen orange juice in the freezer, which we don't need to, because oranges are like 78 cents a kilo. A kilo of oranges gives you a pitcher of orange juice. So it's, we were saving, we were preserving, we were doing marmalade. And then I thought, why am I even picking oranges off the tree? They're 78 cents a kilo. So things like that. We don't buy a lot of fruit because we have a lot of fruit trees, but fruit is very reasonable. I saw peaches today were $1.59 or €1.59 for a kilo. A lettuce is all done by weight. So a huge leaf lettuce is, I don't know, 95 cents or something. A dozen eggs, €1.50. And these are big, massive eggs. Everything is so fresh. A packet of spaghetti is good Italian stuff, not the cheap stuff. The good Italian spaghetti, a packet is, €1.29. Ground beef kind of turns out to be a little bit expensive at maybe about $8 a kilo, but I just get them to, all of the supermarkets have fresh meat where there's an actual human that you can say, oh, can you mince this? So you can get, I do it for the dogs. So we buy whatever beef is on sale, and then we get them to mince it. What does that say? $1.18. Yes, thank you. So it's pretty, it's not far, it's okay, not on par, but it's not far away. So when we're buying a couple of kilos of beef and we're mincing it, it's like $13, $14, and that makes dog food for 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
So I find things really inexpensive. Insurance, Peggy touched on, just one of the things now is it seems like they've opened up the insurance market to banks. So we have 2 separate bank accounts, one with Millennium and one with Novo, and they are pushing hard on the insurance. And dog insurance for our dog, which is a purebred, he's a Bichon Frise, he's got his papers. It's €40 a year for dog insurance. And it's €25 to go to a vet. So €40, you can have unlimited vet visits. And it's, I think, up to €600 in medicine, which €600, I mean, that's chemo for a dog. €600 is a huge amount of money for a dog medicine. And just continuing on insurance, we have a Citroën D4. I don't know that that's a model I ever saw in North America, or DS4 or something. So it's kind of a hatchbacky kind of fancy car with lots of buttons inside. And the car insurance, which is the top of the line car insurance, is €538 a year. And my brother bought a motorcycle while he was here on holidays, a 2018 BMW motorcycle. His insurance is €11 a month. Now, that doesn't cover damage to his car. It covers liability and damage to anybody else. His motorcycle, it doesn't cover whatever it costs, collision or something. And I have a 2000 smart car, and my car insurance, I think, is $252 a year. And again, that's no collision. My husband's, the DS4 is valued at 27,000 euros. And so it has a replacement cost. But I think it's got whatever the top of the line, you know, collision insurance, and personal liability. If he hits somebody, we've got it. So it's kind of crazy. And Peggy, you were talking about the health. Our health insurance is the most expensive thing. And again, we have top of the line coverage, the Cadillac coverage, and it's $248 or 248 euros a month. And we were paying in New Jersey, 1,800 for the two of us. And everybody who's here knows what that was getting us, which was better than what we had, but it wasn't, you know, I can call a doctor to my house. I can phone the insurance company right now and say, my tummy hurts. I'd like to see somebody. It's late. And they'd have somebody here tonight. Yeah. So 248 euros a month.
And you've got a helpline, haven't you, for that sort of thing too? With that.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. I've got Portuguese citizenship. So I'm also covered by the social medicine. And I do use that, but you know, when it comes to it, if I had to go to a hospital, I'm not going to the state hospital. I'm going to a private hospital. Thank you. 248 euros a month. I'm using it.
Amazing. Okay. So fair to say it's working out pretty well for you.
Yes. Okay. Yes. No regrets whatsoever.
And I could see people's jaws dropping, I think, with the cameras that are on, people are laughing and their jaws are dropping occasionally and they're thinking, wow, okay, I want to get here even quicker. So thank you very much, Marie. Over to you, Tricia, talking about the cost of fuel, actual gas, diesel, logs for the fire, and of course the all-important socializing, which we know is a little curtailed at the moment, and new measures announced today. But if you could let us into that, the cost of going out as well as fuel. Tricia, good evening to you and welcome.
Thank you so much, Carl. Just one quick thing. I just have to do a little segue about what Neil just said. You don't have to have citizenship to be able to participate in the national health system. Yeah. So that's there. And we've been waiting for a year. We've been here now since 2012. We love it here. We would never have changed anything. My husband and I came from Utah at the time, but I was born in New York. He was born in Maryland, and we've been here all this time. We love it. And okay, so
Tricia, where are you in Portugal?
We are in right now. This is an interesting thing. Nobody knows this yet. Well, Astrid and Jerry know. We are in Beira Baixa. It's the center region. It's where the cherry capital is, Fundão. It's absolutely beautiful. But we just sold our house. We're going to close on September 28th. And we have bought an autocaravana. And we will be in Lagos or Luz for maybe a week. And then up near in the Alentejo by Alceva is the largest man-made lake in Europe. And we're going to park there at a campground, and we're just going to take a deep breath and enjoy it all. So
I'm not jealous at all, not jealous at all. And Peggy is waving and wanting you to call in. I think she's got the Prosecco on ice already. You're all right.
Okay.
I was saying the beautiful Algarve. Come to the beautiful Algarve.
Let's have it. Well, let us connect. So when you said the overview,
yeah.
In short, like the broad strokes, when my husband and I moved here in 2012, we found immediately that our cost of living was 1/3 of what it was when we lived in Utah. Now, and this is like, again, I'm from New York. We lived in LA, Miami. So we're not talking about big expansive. Maybe it would have been way lower if I were considering those big time cities, but 1/3. We have, okay, do you want me to get into the numbers now? Because I was really overwhelmed with the ability of me to say all those numbers, because I need a cheat sheet for prices about things. Is this the time for that?
Yeah, I mean, certainly with things like the cost of fuel, it's good to know.
Okay,
You know,
so
like
here we go.
Number comparison.
Okay. Now, I don't know if you want to call it petrol or gas. So a liter is about 133 euro. That's about $1.60 in terms of North American for diesel, which is a lot. If you buy a car here, you might expect to find they're going to have to use diesel, and that's a bit less, like say 120 or 140 per liter, in terms of dollars. I actually have really enjoyed using some public transportation here. And for instance, here I am in Barabaixa. I've gotten on the train in Fundão and gone to Lisbon for 28 euros, which is like, this is first class, $33. It's one way, but you have this beautiful, beautiful train ride down along the Douro River for a little over $30, air conditioned, absolutely fabulous. If you don't want to have a car here, you don't have to. And so like if you want to have a monthly pass in terms of bus or a train kind of thing, it's usually about $40 a month or so. And taxis, Ubers are here as well. Very minimal cost, way less than anything in the United States. We do like to, I think I'll get to the food last because that's always the best. But movies generally are about 6 or 7 euros. So one other thing to just factor into this for anybody from because it changes all the time. €1 right now, this moment in time, is 1.19, say 120 dollars.
Okay.
So whatever I say, just add a little chink on. There I go with the numbers again. It's like, to me, it's just like a little extra. So if you have movies, I've been to El Corte Inglés in Lisbon. There's a Cineplex there. It's fabulous. Anybody watching this, when you come to Lisbon, you must go to El Corte Inglés, the big Spanish department store, and you can go in and you can dine there. You can get your car washed. You can get your dog washed and go food shopping, do it all. And I would go, because my husband's the food shopper, he would do all the food shopping and I would watch a movie. Movies about the equivalent of $7. It's nothing. Here where I live in the Barabaixa area, there are some great promotions where we can have dinner and a movie for €9, so $10 or $11. So you go into the complex and you can eat dinner in the food court and then watch a movie. It's fabulous. And bowling, less, €7, $8 or so. In terms of concerts and music, what we have found here, everyone, is that music is like spontaneous and part of the heart and soul of Portugal. And so we will just walk out of a restaurant in Ericeira. We lived close to Mafra in the palace town of Mafra. And we would just walk out after dinner on the beach in Ericeira, and people were standing out on the steps, and it's free music. So that's that. You can also pay little bits and pieces here and there for whatever. I've only actually basically seen free music, or at a Mayo Arena event, you might pay 100 or 120, the equivalent of dollars. We saw Charles Aznavour, the famous French singer.
Yeah.
And my husband treated me, big surprise for my birthday last year, or maybe 2 years ago. And so €100 a pop. So that's like the high end, but music is everywhere. You can walk through a little village and somebody's walking through in a tent. On to food and beverages. Okay, so this I don't need any glasses for because we do it all the time. A typical, nice, simple lunch in a cafe. a sandwich, a beverage, or actually what they call the prato de dia, which would be a meat dish, chicken, fish, usually fish or meat, and a glass of wine or beer or a bottle of water and coffee and dessert runs around approximately 10 to 12, the equivalent, $10 to $12. If you want to have a little bit more elegant in a mid-scale restaurant, you would figure about $20 per person. And this is including food, wine, dessert, coffee, everything.
And soup, right? Soup to start.
Sorry?
And soup to start as well.
And soup to start as well. And almost always, which is fabulous, there's never a change in the quality of sopa de legumes, a vegetable soup, and it's whatever the soup, whatever the vegetables are, the greens, whatever. Usually we had it today, in addition to our dinner with our German guests who were here with us. And we all had cheese omelets and mushroom omelets and soup. The soup was $1.50 because everything was, separate. $1. So $1.75 or so.
Wow.
And a really, truly upscale. There's a great restaurant in Lisbon near El Corte Inglés, our favorite place to go shop, called 11. It's Michelin starred, 1 or 2 star, I'm not sure which. And we had an anniversary dinner there a couple of years ago, and it was under $200 for 2 people at a Michelin starred, 7 courses, all the wine, everything. Now, probably it's a little bit, maybe 250, the equivalent of 250 euro, maybe 275. But the point is, I actually compared the price for something I was writing for an article I was doing for a publication. And the same dinner in Paris would have been 500.
Yeah.
So it was less than 200 at that time.
Amazing. Thank you. And a cup of coffee, how much?
Oh, a cup of coffee in a little cafe, 70 centimos, 80 cents. If you want to go around and have a cappuccino, it might be like $1.
Yeah, and then maybe a nice pastel de nata to go with that. You can get a combo, can't you, for $1.50 or something in a supermarket, for example?
Exactly. Some combos that I have seen were €1 for one pastel de nata and coffee.
Yeah, and you might imagine that would mean a compromise in quality, but definitely not. The coffee consistency or quality, a consistency of quality of Portuguese coffee is amazing. I don't know how they do it.
Well, actually, there are big differences between Sikal and Wondi and Lavazza. My husband is, because we owned a restaurant in Nevada, and so he roasts coffee, and he's like, the bottom line is you can get okay coffee, good coffee, great coffee, and superlative coffee, but you can never get bad coffee. Yes.
Thank you, Tricia. Wonderful. So let's, you know what people are covering now. So let's find out who everybody is, where they're from. Steve in Minneapolis. Good evening to you. Eric in Charlotte, North Carolina. Alex in Virginia. Jeff in Las Vegas. Teresa in Tulsa. Mark in Los Angeles. I am going to go through and say hello to everybody tonight. Edward and Kerry in Palm City, who have a very interesting question. G. Poulsen in Saint Martin. I don't know where that is. Linda is in Bellingham, Washington. Nancy in California. Jenny in here from Devon in the UK. Just getting as much intel as you possibly can, presumably. Hello from Atlanta, Georgia, from Alan. Jim, hello Jim in Wiesbaden in Germany. Will in Seattle. Antonio in Oregon. Daniel in Florida, hoping to relocate in December. And the questions coming in. We haven't covered buying a car. So who of you 3 has bought a car and would like to take that on? Oh, yes, all of you. Okay, so
I don't want it. I'm just saying I bought a car.
Yeah.
And how was that process, Peggy? And how did you find it?
20% more expensive.
20% a car.
20% more.
Okay. My husband says buying a car is 20% more expensive here, but the insurance for it is so much lower here. So it sort of equals out.
Yeah. Okay. So a bit of an upset there on the car buying. Cars are more expensive for me.
But you keep them forever because the weather is, and I mean, they don't die like they do in America.
Good point. Good point. Tricia, did you have something to add to that?
Yes, we've bought several cars here. We just bought an auto caravana that we're going to be living in. We bought bought a motorcycle. It's been crazy here, but certain things are less expensive and certain things are more. Cars are definitely more expensive. Yeah. But I agree with Peggy because insurance is lower, and because the quality of the roads. We used to live in Woodland, Utah, and it was snow and sleet and hail and everything, and it took a toll. So expect to spend 20-25% more for the car. We decided to leave our car. We had a Prius. We left it in the United States and kind of waited to see, and then eventually sold it because the shipping here, you're going to pay several thousand for the shipping, and also you have to pay to matriculate the car here, and so there's another some thousand to make it comply with the requirements for the Portuguese government. So unless you're attached to some antique car that you must have, it's better to just leave your car there, come here, pay a little extra, and enjoy it all.
Fantastic. Thank you, Tricia. Nancy, to be fair, does say not fancy in brackets. And I think the way to do that is probably to get to know a local. Always the way in any country, I suppose, is to get to know a local who can introduce you to a reliable source of secondhand cars. And there are some bargains around with secondhand cars here in Porto.
A lot of them, yeah.
Yeah. Maria, Miliu, you were going to answer the question. The next one, Edward and Kerry, the cost of shipping a 20-foot shipping container to Lisboa. This is going to be an issue for people, isn't it? And I think you've done that.
Yeah, I've shipped 2 containers actually. The first one when I was a resident here, and I was able to do it free of import taxes on the goods. So I shipped the first one when we came here in 2019, July 2019. And I shipped that out of, we were lucky, we were living in New Jersey. So we shipped it out of Newark, New Jersey. And the cost of shipping was around the same this time. It was, I think, $3,500 US. And that is the container. The guy drops it at the door. You fill it up. You need a couple of tall guys. I'm so dumb. I didn't realize that they didn't lower the container. They don't put it down. It sits on the truck. So you need tall, strong guys or ladders and ramps. So $3,500 to get it to Lisbon. Then when it got to Lisbon, even though it was, I had the certificate of bagagem to let me import personal goods for changing residency to Portugal, I think I still paid another $800 in various taxes and probably some scammy fees. But anyways, it was another $800. The second container that we just had was with UPack We Ship, who I thought were phenomenal. They had such good customer service. When it got to Portugal, we then had it sent from a Portuguese agent to us in Tomar, door to door. And that was with all of the customs taxes now. And I had a detailed manifest, and they took care of all of there's various levels, 20% for used mattresses, 14% for socks and shoes, whatever it is. I just gave them my manifest and said, figure it out and tell me how much it's going to cost in advance, because I had to plan whether it was worth it. And so we paid 2,000 euros to get it out of customs and to get it here. So in total, for a 20-foot container, that we brought 6 beds, kitchen, because we had a Airbnb business in New Jersey. So we brought 6 beds, 2 of them were king size, 2 bicycles, kitchen stuff to fill 3 houses, all of our linens that we'll use for business and stuff. So in total, under 7,000 US, it would have cost us way more than 7,000 US to get that stuff here. So I was very happy. I was very happy to pay that. And that was paying the customs on the container.
Right. Okay. So I'm sure that helps Edward and Kerry there. There are
Carl,
more.
Carl,
Yes.
just one quick tag on to that,
Sure.
it's helpful for people moving here to know that if they move within the first, if they move their goods here within the first year of their gaining their residency, which usually happens about a month after they arrive here, they avoid extra shipping, extra taxes.
Yeah, the import taxes on the goods. Yeah.
So if you do, we waited 3 years because we weren't sure at first, for the first 6 or 9 months, we were going to actually stay. And then my husband, who's the big nomad, wanted to live all over the country. So we were always living in furnished places. But if you know you're coming here and you want to be here, get your stuff here and you'll avoid extra import duties.
Yeah.
That's great to know. That's a saving. Thank you for that, Tricia. Excellent. There are extra questions about Medicare, and we will have the breakout soon. So presumably, if you join Peggy's breakout, you can get a little bit more information on the specifics of Medicare. That's not something I understand completely, because there seem to be sub-clauses and all sorts of extras that only North Americans might know about with that. So Peggy, I'm sure, will pick that up. A more general thing that would be useful to know about, I think, for everybody, I'm guessing, is the internet connection and the value proposition there, and the convenience and the quality from the three of you would be great. Actually, your respective experiences. Peggy, internet for you?
We are fortunate that our little urbanization, which is their word for a subdivision, has fiber optic, 5G.
Cool.
So we're very fortunate. We have a pretty good signal, and it doesn't go far, but we have a booster so we can get it. The issue here is, I think in our house, is the thick walls, which, they're a plus and a minus, having 2-foot thick walls, but we do have a booster so we can get it throughout the house and out at the pool, which is all is necessary for me.
The fiber, I think you find across the country, and obviously, yeah, the more urban the area, the greater the likelihood. Tricia, your experience of Wi-Fi, internet, broadband, fiber, etc.
Even when we first moved here 8 years ago, we were deep in a valley, and we needed to kind of feed it, a couple of different ways and boost it a little bit, whatever. But ever since then, no matter where we have lived, including here, because we are in the countryside, it's been excellent. And there is fiber optic outside here as well. So.
Tremendous, tremendous. And Maria?
We're 7 kilometers out of Tomar, which is in the center of Portugal, and we're in a little village, and we have actually satellite internet. We pay with Mayo, MEO, we pay 63 euros a month for a triple play. We have a house phone, which I use to phone my mom. Nobody uses a house phone. We have a TV, and we have our 2 cell phones. And the cell phones, so that's 63 euros a month. We do have a Verizon kind of hotspot that we take with us when we travel, because our phone, the Mayo service, there isn't always Mayo coverage. It's just like Verizon for me. I couldn't always find Verizon coverage in the States. Or Optimum or whatever. So we take this dongle that cost us, I think the hotspot cost us 25 euros, and we pay 20 euros a month for, not really unlimited, but it uses, we use it everywhere. Because we do a lot of traveling, we go away for the weekend, and we were just up north in a village of slate houses. Well, forget about internet under slate, forget it. We had to go to the top of a mountain where there was no slate to try and connect. I was waiting for an email receipt to go on the Douro boat tour, and we had to drive 10 minutes to the top of the mountain. So this is ridiculous. You would never consider that in North America. Well, I guess you would, because there's parts of North America, some parts of Kentucky. Isn't that true, Peggy, where you just don't have...
We didn't have service at our house for some reason.
But here you do have to think about the 2-foot walls. We have a big house, so we also have 2 range extenders. But we've got, you know, Alexa, we've got my Ring cameras, we've got Blink cameras, we've got everything connected to the hub, and there's 2 of us, so the coverage is fine.
Excellent. Of course, some people want to protect themselves from Wi-Fi, don't they? So you can
Yes.
get a house with 2-foot thick walls and a slate roof.
Yes,
But
and you're fine.
Perfect for you in Portugal.
The aluminum hat, you're set.
Okay. And you can get those from Continent.
Yeah.
So Astrid, I think it's time to...
If you can't find it in Continent, you can find it at the Oriental store. And if you can't find it there, you don't need it.
Exist. Yes.
Yes, indeed. Everything from the Oriental store that you can't get anywhere else, and very good value again. Astrid, I think we've got so many questions, and we could talk a lot longer, but I think maybe we should go into the specifics in the breakout groups. So if I can hand over to you for that, and then we'll come back to answer some of the outstanding questions. And I think some of this is going to have to go to the forum as well, because there's a lot of talk and questions going on. People are being very kind and answering each other's questions in the chat, but we might even need a part 2. But over to the breakout now.
Okay, I'm going to press open.
Go.
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hi, I'm just trying to move you into a room. You've got to, Eric, 1 second. I think, did you come in late?
No, I've been here for a while.
No? Okay, I'm just going to try and put you into a room. Be with me 1 second.
Is there something you want me to add to that? Yes. I'm not identified by name, I don't think.
Okay.
I'm not too sure, Jerry, why.
In the US. Yes, you can buy 99% of what you get in the US, or what you or what will suffice.
Yeah, we spent 3 years in Nigeria, and my wife did everything from scratch, so she's gun shy now on the next move.
Well, we spent several years in other countries. My husband was in the Army, but I've pretty much.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to work out how to get you into one of these rooms. I think it hasn't assigned you. Bear with me. Okay. I have Anna, Eric, Daniel, and Julie. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hello.
I can't seem to allocate you to one of the rooms, but let me see if I can help you with some questions. I think it may be after I created the rooms, maybe that's when you came on, so I do apologise. But maybe I can help you with some cost. Can you give me,
Sure.
tell me about yourself and what your journey is?
Sure. I know you've already helped me some, so thank you through the forum with questions. So we live in San Antonio, Texas. We have a 7-year-old currently. I am Brazilian. My grandmother's Portuguese. So I'm working on getting my Portuguese citizenship, and we would love to move there in a few years. So more of our questions are around, like, I don't have anybody there right now, but like when you found your place, like how did you find a house? How much, like based on projections, because there's a lot of stuff online about costs of living, right? So how much has it been maybe versus what you expected, or big surprises living there compared to the US, things like that?
I can't say for the US, but I am from Australia, and Australia is a very expensive country for, I think, for cost of living. And in my personal experience, then Portugal is very, very good value for money. I think I might have answered some of your questions already in the forum, but it really depends on where you're living in Portugal as well, whether you're in cities. For example, rents are very high in the major cities.
You got some in there.
Hello, Julie? Sorry.
Hi there. Sorry to cut you off. I'll go on mute.
Hey, that's okay. Rents have become increasingly high here in Portugal, particularly in the cities. But if you're living rurally, much, much cheaper. So if you are looking for a 4-bedroom house in Lisbon or an apartment, you're probably looking at least 2,000 euros upwards. The equivalent in the country could cost you 400 euros per month as an equivalent. So very, very different. Petrol or diesel, which is most cars here run on diesel, you're looking at about €1.10 per litre to run your car. So it's very, very affordable. The cost of cars are quite high though. The tax on buying a car here in Portugal is quite high, which is probably why they were mentioning before, Peggy was mentioning that cars are like 25% more here than in the US. It's also that the value of the cars seem to hold quite well here, and you can actually buy cars from within the EU and import them as a cheaper option. A lot of people do that. So you might go to Belgium, for example, and buy your ideal car and then bring it here and change the plates over. But you need to change the plates over within a particular period of time, otherwise you can get fined. There is a lot of debate at the moment for the price of cars to come down, because the locals feel that the government's really stinging people with taxes on cars. And as part of the European Union, it should actually be quite plain level over all the countries. It should be what everyone else is experiencing with their taxes as well. So, yeah, that's probably giving a little bit of an idea. Is there any other questions from Daniel or Julie or Eric? You'll need to unmute yourself, I think. Sorry, Eric.
What would a furnished apartment cost in Porto or Coimbra or somewhere like that?
Coimbra would be different to Porto, but Porto prices are very, very similar to Lisbon. You can still get places quite cheap, but it depends on what your standards are. But I would think that you're looking at least probably 2,000 euros a month. Having said that, it's actually cheaper to have a mortgage than it is to rent. I think what happened during the whole boom with the Airbnbs is a lot of apartments decided not to rent out to long-term rentals. They decided to try and cash in on the Airbnb. And so they put the rents quite high to try and compensate if they did do a long-term rental. But there's probably a good site for you to have a look at, Eric, would be one called Idealista. It's called IDEALISTA, do Idealista Portugal. And that way it's like a real estate portal. So you'll see a lot of properties there for rent. And that's the site that the locals use. So sometimes if you do go through some of the expat ones, then they may actually increase the price, knowing that you've probably got a bigger budget. So if you go have a look through Idealista, and then I would also probably recommend that if you are looking for a rental, there are some agencies that can work on your behalf to help you negotiate with the property as well. So if you're not here yet, for example, they can start looking for places for you to rent. They can look over the contract for you, making sure that everything is all above line, and really help with the negotiations too, because the real estate industry here in Portugal, I find, is very, very slow. Everything is much slower here. Things take a long time. But I find that if you have someone with a bit of knowledge, then it's definitely worthwhile doing that.
Thank you.
Great. Everyone's coming back now. 1 second. Here comes everybody.
I'm back in the main session. Astrid, help.
Yes, I found you, Peggy.
I'm back in the main session. I need to be.
The 10 minutes goes quickly, doesn't it, Peggy?
Well, did you put me back? I thought maybe I had.
No. Everyone's coming now.
Everyone's coming now. Okay.
Yes. They should be all coming back slowly.
Okay. Well, I was in the middle of a question, so.
Well, I had a few people out here who didn't actually get it into the breakout rooms, Peggy. So I've got Eric, Julie, and Linda, and Will. I don't know if you've got any questions for Peggy.
I don't know what happened here.
I don't know either. Everything just went.
I don't know if my friend Bradley got his answer or not.
Yes, I got most of it. Just the very ending I missed, but I got most of it.
The bottom line was Lisbon, Porto, Algarve. You really don't need English, but
you don't need Portuguese.
Excuse me, Portuguese. Thank you very much. And definitely don't bother with Brazilian Portuguese.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
You're quite welcome.
I'm stuck on you, Astrid. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta push this button, I think.
The wonderful world of Zoom, huh?
Peggy is our new director of IT.
Turn it on and turn it off.
No. Turn it off.
I'm sorry, in our breakout, we were also sort of caught on the hop, but please, we'll try and go through the recording and answer the questions on the forum, but please feel free to bring them up again specifically on the forum, and we'll do our best to answer them there.
Yeah, because I think we've just got a few minutes to go now, haven't we? I don't know how much spectacles, glasses cost in Portugal, but I need someone. I can't read the time on my phone at the moment. It's about 4 minutes to go, isn't it?
I can tell you, very expensive.
Yes,
buy them somewhere else.
Get your prescription and have them sent in. Okay,
Yeah.
go to Specsavers, as they say.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. There was one question about finding a rental and finding a house, in fact. And negotiating on rents. And we've had 2 excellent webinars with Peter von Noonan of Enjoy Portugal. They're worth watching again, or approaching Peter direct is what I'd say. Enjoy-portugal.com for those particular questions. And as Jerry says, we can continue this conversation in the forum, of course, expatsportugal.com. And maybe do a part 2, because I think Tricia, Maria, Peggy, you've been amazing tonight. Been lots of wonderful information flowing, in the chat room as well. So thank you so much to the 3 of you. Really appreciate it.
Carl, can you give everybody our Does Expats Portugal site where they can reach us at our
Yes, we'll put a post out with your usernames.
With our
include your usernames, and people will
yes,
have you from there.
Because I was in the middle of answering questions, and others had questions, and I hate to miss anybody, and I'd like to get back to all the questions and answer them as best I can.
It might have to be an evening with Maria, an evening with Tricia, and an evening with Peggy at this rate.
All right.
That's my agent.
Peggy, why are you appearing twice?
Head of IT, she could do that sort of thing.
I don't know how to do that. I screwed something up. I don't know.
Thank you so much, everybody, for your kind attention as well. Join us again for our next webinar. I'm so sorry, Astrid. I don't know the theme and date of the next one.
Oh, the next two are not, they're about with the British Embassy and with Brexit. So it may not be that interesting to people on this webinar. But we do have our social, our next social on the 1st of October. So if you want to come and mingle and meet some new people who are already living here or planning to move here, please go onto the site and register for the social catch-up, a bit of fun.
Fantastic.
And send us a message if you have a particular question.
May I please just add to what Astrid has said there? We are planning, we haven't got the dates firmed up yet, but we are planning a webinar with eMigrant, who are the visa specialists, and we're planning one specifically about applying for visas for citizens of the USA and Canada. Right. And that will come up in October. We haven't got a date yet, but it'll be on our website as soon as we can.
And the Brits will need your moral support for Brexit, so you can turn up for that one and just be there as a shoulder to keep on or something like that.
We have our own trust.
Should I bring alcohol?
Well, thanks everybody. I've got a wine tasting to go to, as I do on a Thursday evening. So thank you so much. I don't know if you wanted to add anything, Jerry or Astrid, at that point.
I would like to thank our ladies for their contributions tonight and the research that they did ahead of it. Thank you very much, ladies.
Wave your hand at these ladies. That's fantastic.
My peanut gallery.
See you again.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Thanks.